Wait, Bedrock doesn't let you put just anything in the offhand? Why? The simple answer to this question of why you can't put, say, torches there is because Bedrock only specifically allows you to put items in the offhand if they don't require active use to use. So for example, a Totem of Undying can go there because it only takes effect when you die. There is no control input from the player. The same is true for a shield, which is a similar thing. You can crouch to use the shield, but that's an existing function that already exists for every Minecraft player. The same is true for, say, a map if you want to. Having a map B in your offhand takes no extra effort from you, it just changes the screen. And also the same is true for arrows, which are of course a type of tool. The same is true for tipped arrows, and then it has to be true for fireworks because sometimes you can use a crossbow for those. And then the weirdest one that everyone forgets is the Nautilus shell. You can put Nautilus shells in your offhand for precisely zero reason. The only reason it exists is because drowns have Nautilus shells in their offhands, and so they made it so the player could as well because they didn't want us feeling left out. It's very strange, I know, but the key question you probably have after all of that is if they're adding dual wielding to Bedrock anyway, where will the buttons for the left hand go? And this is a really easy one to answer. For mobile controls, there are now like 5 buttons on screen at all times. They could add a 6th one. For keyboard and mouse, it's really easy to say. I mean, all you've got to do is exactly the same as you would do on Java. You would have the ability to put, say, dirt in your offhand, and then when you wanted to use something in the offhand, you would right click as opposed to left clicking to use your forehand. This is the simplest way to do things. If you've got a torch in both hands, then theoretically they'd both be right clicks, so it would use your right hand first, or your dominant hand, I guess, to be clear there. And yeah, the interesting thing though is, what about controller? I had a surprising number of people ask this question because of course everyone knows a keyboard and mouse, but how does a controller work? And the simple answer is exactly the same. This is my controller. The right bumper works like the left click on a mouse, and the left bumper works like the right click on a mouse. It's kind of weird that they're flipped in that way, but it makes perfect sense to anyone who plays a controller that you have the exact same functionality as a keyboard and mouse player does, and therefore as a Java player does. The only thing that's missing is how would you have the swap offhand to regular hands button. This is F on Java and allows you to flip things in and out. How would this work on the Bedrock version for controllers and for Pocket Edition for the buttons? So you could add a 7th button for switching offhand to regular hand, but that's not really necessary for mobile devices. There's all sorts of things they can't do without going to the menus already. Why not make that another one of them? For instance, you can't fast move stacks and you can't change your perspective. But for the case of the controller, you might think every button is in use, and that's true. Every button does something. If you look around here, every button does something already, and so there can't be one to switch offhand and forehand, except dominant hand. But let me show you something wonderful. It's called the D-pad. Right now, if you go to controller, you can map a bunch of things to your buttons, and right now only emote on the left block and open chat on the right. I think emote might be up by default, but only these two are used, which means there's 2 free keys. One of these is used by most players for pick block. I put it on the up D-pad, which means that down on the D-pad could very easily be swap hands. So you could press down on the D-pad, and wow, look at that poor video editing that shows that now I've switched my hands. Should we do it again? I think we should. Down on the D-pad, and whoa! Oh, look at the skill in this video editing that's happening right now. Whoa, is that switching hands again? That's all it would take. You could have it be default down on the D-pad, or you could even not bind it by default. Let players choose if they want to switch things easily, and that is how dual wielding can work on console. I think now they've added the new controls to mobile, it's a matter of time. I'm not going to say it's coming in 1.20, but it would be pretty cool if it was, right? Anyway, it's incredibly early in the morning. I've got a flight to catch, so I guess we'll finish this Q&A in Canada. See you there.
Walking down a travelator is my favourite thing. Your legs walk faster and it is my also favourite thing. I don't know how to rhyme, but this is going to Q&A Saturday for some reason. Anyway, let's answer some questions. Now we're on the ground. Okay, sorry about the interruption. I'm now in Banff National Park in Canada, going for a bit of a ski, but it's important to answer your questions, like this one from Top Digger. When do you think 1.19.4/1.20 snapshots are going to start? They say they know it's been a while since 1.19.3, and that Mojang took a break, but you know, it's important. They're not impatient, but they want to know my guess. Honestly, I think quite soon. We saw this video from Mojang this week where they spoke about the camel, but Lady Agnes specifically said there are some more unannounced 1.20 features coming soon. soon. Obviously, coming soon could mean as late as like March or, it really, but I think that means they have a batch of features which they're ready to show off. The sniffer is technically an unannounced 1.20 feature, but I imagine there's much more going on there, and that's what I'm really excited about. My mouth it's hard to talk because my mouth is so cold. I hope you're not noticing I'm slurring words or anything. But let's move into the next question here. It's quite hard. Okay, the next question here comes in from Mog Swamp is the best. Why are you making yourself stream so much? You should really take a break. I do like taking breaks, as you can maybe see. It's a nice mountain, right? It's crazy. I'm above clouds right now. That like blows my mind. Like I'm not in a plane above clouds. I'm just above clouds chilling, about to go down below the clouds. But to answer your question, why do I stream so much? The answer to this is honestly, like, I wanted to try what it was like to be a full-time streamer. I feel like it's one of those, like, career progressions that a lot of people get into, and it can be a really good idea. It can also be a really dangerous one. There's lots of good and there's lots of bad, so I figured let's try that. But I came to the conclusion, because a lot of people are going to ask, like, so you did 3 days of a 9 to 5, then basically quit. The answer is that to record videos like this one, well, I mean, not like this one, because I'm just at a mountain. This is very poor audio quality. Hope you don't notice too badly. But to answer the question, it's something I tried to get into. It didn't really work. I couldn't do both streaming 8 hours a day and get videos made that to a quality that I'd like, and also do all the other business things that go into running YouTube, which is sad, but that's the answer to why I won't be doing a 9 to 5 very commonly. But I will be making a whole video kind of breaking down how much I made and also what happened in those 24 hours, in case you want to see it. I think it's going out on Monday. But maybe not. It's going out at some point. It's going out on a Monday. How about that? Speaking of Monday, hey, I've got an idea forming in my head. What if the leather chest armor included a quiver that allowed players an extra inventory slot for up to 64 arrows of mixed varieties if desired? It would add... Wait, I'm doing this the wrong way around. The video's horizontal. It needs to be vertical. No, it's fine. There's Minecraft behind me, probably. Or Harrison's cutting out the background. I don't know how this is working, but it would be a reason to use leather. I think this is actually a really cool idea. I think the quiver being an attachment to the leather chest plate, maybe not built in by default, would be a really fun idea and encourage more armor choices. Again, most people just use diamond or netherite. I mean, if we're being honest, in the late game, everyone uses netherite. I like these times where you have to decide, but also it's one of those things where they're changing the game in quite a serious way. Well, this is my favorite suggestion I heard this week, and I wanted to share it with you. Speaking of sharing things with you, how did you get the part of Jonathan Byers in Stranger Things? So as you know, I do look like Jonathan Byers in Stranger Things, and the reason I got that job is because I did so much directing, because I'm Quentin Tarantino, that I put a good word with the director in, and that also is how I got the second role I have on exactly the same show, Stranger Things, where I'm Steve, I want to say. People say I look like him as well. So yeah, that's that one. Do you enjoy that question? Speaking of enjoying questions, what did you have for question? This is an old question, but it's a good one. It's still relevant. Honestly, I love seeing a reference from years ago. It's like a reminder there are some people still watching the channel from way back then. What did I have for breakfast today? I had a kebab lying around, funnily enough, from last night. I felt a little sick, so I couldn't eat it. Definitely wasn't the kebab. Don't you ever come after kebabs. But I had a kebab last night, so I just kind of took a few bites of that. Had a little bit of cake. Honestly, it's a good breakfast. Cake for breakfast is always a good start to the day. What'd you get? Look at how the day's going so far. You know it's only getting better. Speaking of only getting better, bruh, did you seriously just say we just got an end update? Yes, most people are saying we need an update. I'm aware of that, but we want another one. So they're saying, yeah, most people know there was already an end update, but they want another one. And this is an interesting point because you have to think, like, why didn't they add what you think they should add in the last end update, right? In the same way you can't ask for another update, although we do know there's a bunch of content that got cut for time. Ultimately, Minecraft has to make decisions about what is worth prioritizing. Right now, they say a camel, for example, to go back to that same video, a camel is something that way more players can enjoy than new end biomes, for example. It's easier to do. It's it fits in the game better. It feels like something that people can play around with in a fun way. And so I feel like that's the decision you have to be thinking about if you're trying to say trying to be smart like Mojang. What should they do? They should do the thing that the most players can enjoy. I think there is a balance in there. You can't have all early game content, and I think sometimes Minecraft updates go really heavy that way. But you also can't have all late game content because then people go, what was even in this update? And speaking of what was even in this update, I just want new controls for mobile devices. They need to fix the damn sensitivity. Looking around is such a pain at all and doesn't feel smooth. So let me show you this, or rather, I'm going to be honest, Harrison's going to show you this as the heroic editor who made a video recorded atop of a mountain into a Q&A Saturday. But if you have Minecraft, you have the latest version, you go into the touch controls, you can change the sensitivity up and down. Fun fact, your suggestion is so good, they added it into the game already. Good job, Requiem. But also, they've got a lot of other cool options in there. If you haven't played Minecraft touchscreen in a while, you should give it a look. I mean, it's not going to be great. But speaking of things that aren't going to be great, this Q&A Saturday, I hope you enjoyed it despite the very odd format. I am very excited for what they're going to announce in terms of new 1.20 features. I was so worried for so long they were genuinely going to come out and be like, well, we're in charge of what goes in an update. Why don't we just release the features we've already announced? Like, every update they announce less, saying, well, people expect too much if we announce too much. And then they announce less, being like, but then we can add more later, and then they don't. This is going to be the first update where they announce less and then hopefully deliver more according to themselves. Again, they could theoretically cancel it. They could be talking about the sniffer. I think there are new features coming, and I'm excited to hear what those are. I hope that as early as next week, as early as, I think more realistically, the end of January, we start seeing those new features, and I'm incredibly excited, even more excited than I am for cloudy mountains, which is weird. I should care about this more. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate me making this video, despite the fact that I'm on a little bit of a break right now, then, I don't know, like the video or do whatever people do when they like things. And I look forward to seeing you around when I return next week. It's not going to be long from now, actually. So thank you for watching, thank you to Harrison, and thank you for existing. Unless your name is John, in which case you're fake. Sorry to tell you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Wait, do you want to see some skiing? Wait, I think I can... Got my poles, got my skis. Let's go for a ride, huh? So yeah, it's a little bit scary to try and do this with a phone in my hand. But I have done it before and not died, so I guess we'll find out. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next few days. My legs hurt so bad already, and it's only day 2, so I cannot imagine how bad they'll hurt in a few more days. But yeah, this is what I like about skiing. I don't care about the technical, all this like left-right nonsense. What I care about is this. I just want to look at that mountain, and if I have to do physical exercise to do it, I will do physical exercise. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.